Good day, everyone. Alice here from Safi Financial Network. Today is March 12, 2023. Okay, this is very important video, folks, because lots of people are saying about the pivot, about the interest rate, about the TLT bond, and about the recessionary period which we are heading to, and also the future of the stock market. So please make sure watch this video completely because in this video I try to collaborate and coordinate everything, every charts that you need to know about the inflation, about the Fed fund rate, about the recessionary period, about the yield curve. So lots of good materials are going to be covered. First chart is the monthly chart for the Federal Reserve fund rate. So this is basically interest rate. If you want to just simply say that, this is just the interest rate. And interest rate, Fed fund rate, is now at 4.57. So this is based on this chart. We had this low here due to the COVID crash. So this is interest rate going up during starting 2015 all the way to 2018. Just a pause for kind of like a 7 6 7 months, and then after that crash to the downside because market went into COVID period, and COVID was like a kind of like a very sharp sell-off or flash crash or very short-term recessionary period, which was not recessionary period if you ask me, but some people would like to say that. So this is 2007, 2008. This is a 2000 dot-com bubble. So in every single scenario you see that Federal Reserve since 1998, they start to increase the rate, going substantially higher here. Pause for just a bit of time, like since August all the way to November, then pivot. So everyone is looking for pivot. Just imagine, guys, everyone, when they're bullish, when they're talking bullish, they're talking about pivot. Here is 2004, Federal Reserve sharply increased the rate all the way to 5.3% every single time when we are getting close to 5%, or I should say above 4%, something is broken. And this is another time. So here is 2004 to 2006. Federal Reserve increased sharply. Then it keep rate for 5.25% from from July 2006 all the way to July 2007. For a year, they just paused the rate. And after that, they pivot. Where July 2007, they pivot. And right now we are seeing the same scenario. Federal Reserve increased the rate very sharply. Even this one, you can see there is a slope there. This one, there is a slope there. But this is kind of like a vertical move to the upside from almost 0 to 4.5%, which we can just get to 5%. That's going to be the forecast for this year. So what's going to happen during previous pivot to stock market? So let's bring SPX, which is S&P chart here, and we're going to see what's happened to the market. So here, when they pivot, look what happened after that. Market went down. Market was already down. Everyone was looking, everyone begging for pivot. So this is dot-com crash or dot-com bubble. Federal Reserve pivot. Market just slightly going up, just a dead cat bounce and sharp sell-off. This is the last leg for 2000 to 2001. So this is 2001 to 2002. This is the last leg, and market formed the bottom here. So this is 2007. Market was up there. Interest rate was up there. So both at the same time was at the top. Federal Reserve pivot. What happened to that? So if you just want to see that, here's my mouse clicker. And after pivot on the top, market just went down even below 2002 bottom. So it goes all the way down to here. Find out the bottom in March 2009. Here is another scenario. Federal Reserve increasing the rate. Market went up. Just a pause before COVID crash. Here is December 18 all the way to August 19, and then start going down. Here is the sharp pivot. Like this is, I remember this is emergency session in January 2020 when Federal Reserve over the weekend, they just come up with emergency session and increase the rate substantially going down. 1% down to zero. And look what happened after that. Market just collapsed, like it was collapsed. So when you're asking for pivot, make sure what you're asking for. Because pivot means economy is not doing well and Federal Reserve needs to stimulate more packages and getting into quantitative easing just because economy needs more money. And we are in inflationary situation. So inflation is high, Federal Reserve hands are tight. They cannot stimulate more packages, and that's why they cannot pivot sharply. So that's why they're saying we are going to keep the rate as high as we can just because we want to suppress the inflation. But at the same time, yield curve chart is very, very inverted. In the next slide, I'm going to show you what yield curve chart means. But right now, we are at the top of the interest rate. At least for this time of period, we can get another 25 basis or even 50 basis in the next meeting, which is March 21st, 22nd. And also for the time horizon, we can see this is a top information for interest rate. And every single time when interest rate goes up, bond just smash to the downside. So I'm gonna just close this S&P chart here and bring the TLT. So here is add, let's add TLT. So this is a TLT, and you see that. So every single time when Federal Reserve increasing the rate, TLT doesn't go anywhere. It was very, very choppy, bad days even for TLT. Look at the sharp sell-off after that. But when they pivot, TLT start skyrocketing to the upside. Here is another scenario. COVID crash, I remember that one. So TLT shows start skyrocketing to the upside. Look what happened after that during this pivotal point. So when Federal Reserve pivot, TLT signals for one of the best outperformer out there. So instead of buying stocks, because the stocks I show you, S&P chart is going down, but TLT can skyrocket to the upside if they pause and pivot. So this one is now oversold. Like look at that. So during this time, TLT just, this is a gigantic head and shoulder going down all the way to here to 2008, 2009 years. So this is the price for TLT. Right now, this one is forming the bottom for one of the best outperformer out there. So if you want to invest something in 2023, 2024, this is going to be very, very nice investment for you folks, even for traders. I'm giving you one of the best asset class outside there. So if you want to go with FANG stocks, even if you want to go with Tesla, Amazon, Apple, they're good quality stocks, not Tesla, but Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google even, Meta. But right now, stock market, as I show you, is about to tumble. I don't know, next 6 months, next year, or something like that. But this one is at extremely low, and it's getting ready for a skyrocket move to the upside. So this TLT, based on these charts, are showing me very, very interesting one. And I just want to show you something else. So this is S&P 500 compared to TLT. So if you want to go with these two charts, let me just go to the linear one. I just want to show you. So the blue line is S&P 500. This one is TLT. So let me just close this, right. So this is S&P 500 compared to TLT. So during this time, S&P 500, as you see, outperformed TLT, which outperformed bond market. But what happened after that? So when Federal Reserve increased or pivot pivot the Fed fund rate. So let me just add this one. Fantastic. So when Federal Reserve pause and pivot, stock market went down. This means TLT is outperforming a stock market. Here is another scenario, 2018, 2019. So when Federal Reserve pivots the market sharply, look what happened. So TLT outperformed the stock market. And right now, we are getting the same setup here. Stock market for this period outperforming TLT without any question. But right now, interest rate is at the top or about to forming topping formation. When Federal Reserve pivot, then the stock market is going to crash. TLT is going to outperform the market. Just if this blue line is coming below this red line, which is kind of like, let me just go into the candlesticks. So if this one, which happened just last month, look at that. So last month, I mean this month, this is month of March, and look what type of candles. We are just getting a topping formation, and if this one is going down, this means TLT is gonna outperform stock market, and that is very, very, very important chart, guys. So if you just look at any commodity class or asset classes in the market, I would say TLT, for sure TLT is going to outperform the stock market. And in this video, okay, next one, we want to just talk about the TLT chart by itself. So this is a TLT monthly chart. As you see here, interest rate just went up since 2020. This is the bottom of the interest rate. And that means this is a substantial move to the upside. Look at that. So the stock market crashed, but TLT went all the way up to here when interest rate was at its lowest point, like zero, almost zero. So TLT just topped, just because bond market has a reverse or inverse correlation with interest rate. So everyone just expecting that, okay, in next year's interest rate is not going to the negative territory. Possibly it's going to be zero for a while, and then Federal Reserve at the end of the day they're going to increase the rate. So everyone just getting out of the bond market just because interest rate was zero and there is no lowest point for the interest rate. Future is going to be higher interest rate, so there is no interest for bond. So that's why bond is going down and crashed all the way down to here. Right now, it's just forming one of the best bullish setup. If you just ask me, this is one of the best bullish setup in monthly chart. RSI just came back up. After a while in oversold condition just came up back up. Here's the bull reversal happening. MACD is sloping up. And also if you just move on to the weekly chart, so this weekly chart is nicely setting up for another rally to the upside. So look at this pattern. This pattern is kind of like forming a reverse head and shoulder, possibly to the upside. And if this one, so this is last 2 weeks, guys, look at that. So bond market is very smart. Bond market, it has its own traders, investors, and they're gonna be billionaires in their hedge fund managers. They're billionaires. They're not managing million. They're managing billion, and they're just investing in bond. They're very, very low risk, and they're just seeing everything in macro picture. So right now, everyone, all of those billionaires just piling into TLT just because they know that this one is going to skyrocket to the upside. And if we just see a rally during the March, April to here, and possible pullback is going to just set up another rally to the upside here. So I believe this is going to be just the first case scenario, and this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And possible scenario is going to be just a pullback for another rally, possibly to this area for 2024. So this is just a short term, but this short term can stretch to October, November 2023, which is going to be from the current level we are sitting at 105, which I believe TLT, this is going to be very, very first conservative target. And this is just a supply crash to the downside, engulfing this pivotal point, engulfing this demand area, which is going to be substantial. Sellers are going to be there. So I believe 125, which is going to be almost 20%, 18 to 20% right now. If I tell you this asset class is going to give you around 20% this year from the current level, so what would be the hesitation for you to just not investing on this based on the case study and fundamental reasons that I just brought you earlier in this video? I'm saying this is gonna be one of the best outperformer in the market. And to be honest, last 2 weeks I bought a lot TLT. It's kind of like more than 6-7% of my investment portfolio, and I'm gonna increase more just because this is gonna be a safe. And when market is going down, this one is going to hedge some kind of the drawback or downside in my investment portfolio. When it gets there in 2023, 2024, when I see the interest rate is just forming at the bottoming formation, like 2%, 3%, probably Fed fund rate is getting back to less than 2%, then it's going to be the top for the TLT, something like this. So look at that. So this is just the skyrocketing in March 2020. So when Federal Reserve smashed the pivot, smashed the interest rate, TLT just skyrocket to upside to here. And everyone just noticed that when they need it. So it's going to be late. When Federal Reserve pivot, TLT is already up there. So we are at the earliest stage for this rally, so make sure that don't miss out this rally. At least you can just allocate 5% to 10% your portfolio. It's not going to be a big deal. It's just a bond. It's ETF for the bond. Like it's going to be very, very safe, low performance. Even if it goes sideways, it's better than a stock market in this environment because the stock market is very, very shaky. Against Silicon Valley Bank, just bail out. You see how panic is out there in the stock market, and investors mindset is very, very bearish right now. So TLT is going to be a very, very safe play for you folks. This is going to be a gift, I should say, and I'm going to refer back to this video again 3 months, 6 months now, and you will see where we were at this scenario and how this one is moving to the upside and skyrocketing to the upside as well. So I believe I cover everything, and hope you get into this one. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and put your questions down there. I'm gonna ask them one by one when I get a chance. Have a wonderful weekend. See you on the chart. Bye bye.